Hey everybody, Jamie Griffin here. I want to say welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to share with you 6 budgeting tips that can help you get through a financial emergency, especially if you're experiencing one right now with the coronavirus. I want to help you with some budgeting tips to get through that, to get past that, to help you if you're really in a time of a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and just a lot of uncertainty right now. I'm hoping these budgeting tips will help you with whatever situation you're in. Right now, COVID-19 is kind of spreading all over the country, from state to state, and there are big, businesses are shutting down, people are losing their jobs, so there's just a lot of general financial emergencies going on with people filing for unemployment. So if that's you right now, if you're really struggling to pay your bills, to know if you're going to be able to put enough food on the table, I'm hoping that some of these budgeting tips are going to be really helpful for you. While these budgeting tips aren't going to solve all of your problems and financial stress right now, hopefully there'll be a roadmap to get you at least through this financial emergency and help you start preparing for your next one. Okay, budgeting tip number 1 to help you get through a financial emergency is, well, actually I don't even know if this is really a tip, but don't be a jerk. There are millions of people that are really struggling right now, and whether you're going through a financial stressful time period or a financial emergency, don't take advantage of other people who are by buying all the Clorox wipes or all the hand sanitizer and selling it for ridiculously hijacked prices on eBay like some people are doing. Just don't be a jerk. Be a good, kind human being throughout this whole process. And then another thing that I was thinking about is, too, don't take advantage of people that are genuinely being really kind, showing a lot of compassion. If you're not somebody who needs that extra help, it's okay to turn away help if you don't really need it and redirect that person to help somebody else who's really in a more desperate situation than you are. So 2 things right off the bat: don't be a jerk, and also don't be afraid to say no if you aren't in a position of financial emergency, and help focus that attention on people who really need the help. Budgeting tip number 2 is keep calm and only buy the things that you need. It's really easy right now, I think, to panic, to overbuy, to see people buying all of the toilet paper off the shelves and all the hand sanitizer and all the different food things. And I've seen so many pictures of bare shelves in grocery stores, in Target, and all those places. It's okay to take a couple deep breaths, keep calm, and focus on the things that you really need right now. So before you panic and just go buy a bunch of stuff, ask yourself a couple questions. First off, ask yourself, do I really need this right now? If the answer is yes, go buy it. But make sure you only buy what you need, because if you're really struggling with finances and not knowing if you're going to be able to pay all your bills, you don't need excess. You don't need extra of things. You need enough to get by, to get you through to when things stabilize and even out. So if you need something, go buy it, but just buy enough to get by. So estimate how much you're going to need. If the answer is no, you don't need it right now, put it on the back burner and really focus on the things that you do need right now. Another question that you can ask yourself is, what could I buy instead of product X that's actually going to be more helpful to me? And start making a list of all those things that are more helpful than, right now, toilet paper, because we really only need a certain amount of toilet paper. Or food. If you are looking at your pantry and it's got a decent amount of food in it, yes, food is important, but if you could use that money to make sure that you're paying your electric bill or your, I was going to say cable bill, not your cable bill, not a necessity, to pay your electric bill or to pay your heat or to pay your rent or mortgage. Those are big priorities that you need to do. Whereas if you have enough food in your pantry to make a few meals, that's something not something you need to stock up on right now. We can save that for later. Okay, budgeting tip number 3 for a financial emergency is to focus on the essentials only, and cut away anything else that you can that is taking away from that is getting in the way of you getting through your monthly expenses. This is something that would be super easy if you have a budget. So if you have a budget, look at your budget. Look at your expenses over the last few months or the last year. What are things that you're spending your money on that you don't need right now? I'm looking at gym memberships, cable, Netflix, Hulu, going out to eat, all these different things, extra traveling. All those things are amazing and beautiful and probably add a lot of value to you. But if it is a choice between going out to eat a few times a week versus paying your electric bill, that's a pretty easy choice, and you want to make sure you can cut back on those things, the extras, the wants, so that you can really focus on the things that you really need right now that are going to be the most basic needs to get you through this financial emergency. If you're looking at your finances and you don't have a budget, I do have a couple options for you. I think it's one of the best tools to manage and keep track of your spending over short periods and long periods of time. So when you have a financial emergency, it's a lot easier to digest the information and make a plan for yourself. So if you don't have a budget right now and want one, I've got two great resources for you. The first one is I actually made a budget spreadsheet and budget template that I have for sale in my Etsy shop. It's $5, but it calculates everything automatically for you. You just got to enter in your numbers, and it's totally customizable. So if you are in desperate need of a budget, you want to start mapping things out, head on over to my shop. There'll be a link down in the description. So head over there, spend $5. It'll be a worth it investment. The other option is a software called Tiller Money. I've done a few videos on this. I've written a review on this, and I love Tiller Money because it automatically downloads all of your transactions from your bank accounts into a budget for you. You have to do a little work to get it set up, but it's $5 a month, and I know in a financial emergency, even $5 a month might not be something that you're looking to spend, but it's something that can add a lot of value to you and really help you organize your finances. So when you're in a financial emergency or financial kind of mess, the budget can give you a lot more guidance and help you get through the emergency a lot easier and quicker the next time they pop up. Okay, so you're focusing on your essentials, the things that you absolutely need to buy, and you're cutting away everything that you don't need to buy. For example, we realized that we had plenty of toilet paper, but we budget for food a week at a time. So if we're looking at having to really cut back and stay in our house for weeks at a time, like we kind of are right now, we knew that we needed to buy a lot more food than what we had, and especially some staple food products that are just kind of staples that you can use in multiple different foods or in multiple different meals. So looking at things like beans, rice, pasta, spaghetti sauce, eggs, a lot of these really versatile things, frozen veggies, so that we knew we'd be set for a few weeks at a time. And then that's one thing now we don't have to worry about. We can just kind of sit back and pace out and plan out our meals so that we know that it will last for as long as we need it to. Budgeting tip number 4 for surviving through a financial emergency is don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. If you're in a situation where you absolutely don't see how you're going to make it through the next month or next 2 months because your bills are just stacking up and your income is so low or you've lost a job, it's okay to ask for help. It's not the time to be Minnesota nice. So I'm from Minnesota, and we have a saying called being Minnesota nice, which is really a fancy way of saying nobody eats the last cookie on the tray because they want to save it for everybody else. Or it's a passive aggressive way of saying, no, I don't need help, and just trying to shoulder through a problem or shoulder through a situation and pick yourself up by your bootstraps. This is not the time to do that if you really need help. There are a lot of people that are really highly affected by financial emergency right now, but there are a lot of people that are not affected by a financial emergency that would be more than willing to help. I've seen so many examples of people just being generous and giving money away to helping their neighbors, helping their community members. There are plenty of people that are unaffected right now in a financial sense, and I think it is okay to ask for help and to then say okay if people offer help to you. It's not worth letting your pride get in the way over saying yes or no to some help. Okay, next tip is to, if you can, find ways to make more money. There are all kinds of ways to make money, whether it is you can sell stuff you don't need. There are still people that are buying stuff, still people that are selling stuff. If you got stuff sitting in your basement, in your garage that you don't need that can help you get through a financial emergency, sell it. Again, paying your bills on time and making sure you have enough food is more important than that, for me, snowboard sitting down in the basement, than those things that you have loved and loved and loved for years and want to use it someday, but don't have space for it. If there's things that you can get rid of to make a little extra money, now's the time to do it. You can also make some money doing online surveys. I'm going to put a link down in the description of ways and places that you can make money doing some online surveys. Even if it's a few dollars, it's just your time that isn't needed for the investment. So take a couple minutes, take some surveys, and you can earn a little bit of cash there. Also, don't be afraid to do odds and ends jobs. Like there's a whole business in like gig economy stuff. So web apps like Rover, where you can walk people's dogs. There's the Next Door app, which connects people in communities. If there's people that are looking for odds and ends help, mowing lawns, shoveling snow, raking leaves, whatever these things are, people are still willing to pay money to do things that they don't want to do. If you can find those opportunities to make a little extra money, now's a great time to do that. Okay, the last budgeting tip I have to get you through a financial emergency is really a plan for your next financial emergency, which is to start planning and building up an emergency fund. I didn't really want to include this right off the beginning because if you're in the middle of a financial emergency right now, me telling you to have an emergency fund is like a person whose house flooded, having somebody tell them that they need flood insurance. It's not super helpful right now, but as soon as you can, on the other side of whatever financial emergency you're in right now, start building up your emergency fund. And the recommendation, and what I would recommend, is 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, because that's going to help tide you over if you lose your job, if you're unable to work, if you have to drastically reduce your hours, your income suffers in any way. An emergency fund will help carry you through, so it's not affecting your day-to-day life, and it's not forcing you to make really hard decisions in a moment of panic. So a little bit helps, a little bit at a time. $25, $50 a month is slowly going to build up. And again, I would recommend 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, so that if you absolutely need money and you lose your job, that you'll be covered and you won't have to completely stress out or be in a really big emergency situation. So the next financial emergency you experience might not be this super huge virus pandemic that spreads all over the place and causes schools to close and people lose jobs, and like cities and towns and states to like shut down and quarantine inside your house. But it's going to be something. There's going to be an emergency that's going to come up. It could be car repairs, house repairs. We had to replace our furnace in December, which is not a great time to have to replace your furnace in Minnesota. And that was $3,500. Things are going to happen, and it's better to be prepared for it ahead of time so that you can face it head on, and have a game plan ahead of time. So those are my 6 budgeting tips to help you through a financial emergency. If you found any value at all, please hit that subscribe button, tap that little bell so you get notified every time I come out with a new video. I've got links down in the description for budget templates and my Etsy shop, Tiller Money, which is a budgeting software that you pay $5 a month for, but it automatically downloads your transactions to your budget for you. So there's a lot of work taken care of for you. I've got a couple of related blog posts down below for starting an emergency fund, for cutting expenses and saving some money. So look for those down in the description. Again, hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing in your financial emergency. If you want to share what it is, I'd love to know and be able to support you through whatever you're going through right now. So until next video, I will talk to you later.